inside of Jones. Fellow Toyota driver here, he moves aside to Chase Briscoe. 1 lap to go from here. Presented by Credit One Bank.
That move by Joey Logano to attack the 43 in that corner gave him a couple car lengths, and it might be just what he needs to seal the deal here in the last 3/4 of a mile.
What a thriller. Top 2 drivers who have led the most laps here tonight in Richmond are putting on quite the show and consolidating their position in the chase point standings. Joey Logano said, I want to get over the adversity that we've had here in Richmond and add another win. Well, he sure does. Joey Logano is now a 3-time winner at Richmond Raceway. We're on it now, boys. Says the 3-time Cup Series champion. We're in the mix.
Good car, good call.
To go for a 4.
Hey guys, welcome to AFG's Anime Sports Weekend Review. It's Monday as usual. Here live. We're here and we're live, by the way, as we are underway for talk about a lot of sports and weekends of all that and anime as well. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys are still subscribed to YouTube channel. So we got a lot to talk about. We'll get to a lot of details what happened this past week from last week's big events. So we'll get down to it. So, anyways, Saturday's double Richmond as we kick off with NASCAR first. Starting off with double header of Nashville because Friday they had to postpone that race. Rained out because it has moved to Saturday morning on FS2. Yeah, because Friday night was like scattered clouds and rains. So now here we are. It was 11 o'clock doubleheader, Black Tires 250 presented by BTS Rewards. Started off with this today on Saturday. First one in the afternoon on the East Coast. Honeycutt gets another win. His second career win in the Truck Series. And he's got to win his first win at Richmond, if I'm not mistaken. But Corey Heim just took a little bit of helm with that, but Eckes finished third. But SVG, his first career start in the Truck Series, he got his pole, but he finished in the top 5. Not bad for him. Auckland, New Zealand, not bad for him. And then Andres Dallara finished 23rd. Frankie Muniz, dirty. I haven't even talked about Frankie Muniz. I mean, it's been a long time, but it's way bad for him. It's bad for this dude, but he's in a struggle in the Craftsman Truck Series. But I think he should go back to do movies and TV shows like Malcolm in the Middle. So, and then Spurlock just finished 35, way down below the African American female, and then Storfration just did not finish, so he just took nowhere near and just puts it in the end of the day. So, anyways, we're one race left this Saturday. Again, this Saturday at 12:30, they're going to be in New Hampshire at the EJP 175, and it'll be at 12:30 in the afternoon, 1:30 in the East Coast. That'll be on FS1. So we'll see who gets the last one. We'll look at the standings. And same day, going into the night race, and the same track, the Cookout 400. Well, Danny Hamlin almost took out Ryan Blaney because they were trying a little bit of hauled ass and behind him on his back, but it's kind of like going chess and checkers. But if they would have taken him out, then Danny, Blaney's going to piss at Danny to have some expression words after the race and all that. So, and then you got another one, but that's what can you say with Ross Chastain. Had a great race, but 3 wide cars you saw with Briscoe, Cedric, and Blaney on the pit road. Briscoe just won it, but that was only stage 1. But they almost took out Daniel Suarez, and that almost cost him on the pit road. I think it was Carson. Yeah, Hosevart did not finish, but he just had a rough night on Saturday night. But it's just hard. It's really hard for that to see. But a little cautions on so much cautions on that, and looking at the drivers that took nowhere near to be seen, but yeah, Larson had a great race, but hey, too many spin outs. But the Wood brothers, Josh Berry, yeah, he did really good last week in the Iowa Court 350, by the way. Now he just finished on the top 10 once again. But yeah, and by the way, Noah Gregson is going to stay put in NASCAR on his team from Legacy Motor Club. He's got an extension contract. That's what I heard about that. I mean, Bubba Wallace had a good race, but it's not just far enough ever since the beginning of the race. Ever since. But finished 20th. And, yeah, that's it. And then going into the neck and neck, Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe had to go battle it out back and forth because they had to go into pit lane and then got to go the last couple laps. And what happened? Briscoe almost almost had Joey Logano's win, but that's quite not enough for that on Saturday night. But Joey Logano, his second win of the season, his third career win at Richmond. It's another win for him, by the way. It's another win for him. Even though it was a crazy race, to be quite honest, it is. Yeah, that's what it means. Their next race, I guess we're only 2 races left of the regular season before the chase for the Cup, the New Hampshire race on Sunday at 2:00. It's the Dollar Tree 301 on USA Sports this Sunday, guys. Because we're going to get to IndyCar, and hopefully we'll get to some other races, because I know AHRA is going to be back this Sunday. Haven't followed much NHRA, but I do like watching NHRA, but not on this channel, but I do care about IndyCar as well. So, anyways, let's look at the standings. Danny Hamlin still holds on the regular season, even though Blaine moved up a little bit, but Gibbs moved down a little bit, but Reddick's in the top 5. Gall is back at the top 10 for regular season, even though the chase is already there. But Gibbs is already clinched. Briscoe, Elliott, Bell made it. By the way, I mean Christopher Bell, same guy. But SVG moved down a little bit, even though he's going to be in the chase, even though he got his first win, but I just don't want to see him out of it. So Daniel Suarez moved down, Bubba Wallace in 14, and yeah, and let's get to the trucks, Craftsman Truck Series. Yeah, even though Riggs will clinch the regular season with the win, even though Honeycutt could win one on Saturday, that could catch Riggs in the regular season. But that's going to come down to this. So, because we got 4 drivers left to be in it, in the top 10 for the chase for the Cup. Fraser's going to have to get some help on Saturday before into the last one. So, to this weekend, see what happens. Guys, stick with the NASCAR before we get continue on. There is a new yellow caution rule. NASCAR, the yellow caution stage rules after 10 laps left. After 10 laps remain, well, if there's a caution within 10 laps to go, then the stage is over. And I want to get to Kyle Larson to put this out because I just don't like it. It is a stupid rule, and it's a stupid mess because NASCAR likes money. So let's listen to Kyle Larson because I'm just not a fan of that rule. Ridiculous.
I think it's good because it sucks, like for all of us. When we're out there, you get a caution with 5 to go into the stage, and they're going to try and do a one-lap shootout. So you got all that time under caution, and then do your one-lap shootout, and it takes 15 minutes for them to do their stupid stage stuff. So, yeah, just like roll on with it. So this is a step in that direction. Hopefully to get the races that be shorter distance, shorter length, and yeah, just give the fans, better.
Give fans a little excitement. They have not listened to the fans. NASCAR says, "Oh no." It seems like NASCAR hasn't even learned anything. They're not even learning their lessons. And the reason, you're not getting rid of the yellow line needs to go. All right. Same with stage laps. When I talk about stage caution, it's not a good deal. It's not a good idea. But yeah, you got the chase back. What about coming back in a couple of years when NASCAR turns 100? The old point system. How about bring back the old point system? Let them race. Let them race. All right. It seems like NASCAR hasn't learned anything. It's not going to change because it's going to keep losing fans. It's going to keep losing fans like that ever since going back to when the playoffs system started back in 2014 through 2025. Thank God it's no longer. And Bob Pacris. Here's what it says out. An update procedure for reminder decision as follows. If a caution falls within 10 or fewer laps prior to the device end of stage 1 or 2, the stage will be deemed an official at the time of caution. The leader will return to start and finish to receive the green, the checker flag along with the yellow. The caution proceeds that follows will serve as the stage breaks. The top 10 stage finishing order will determine using all available resources as just it is whatever points are paid. See, this is what NASCAR wants on television. You're losing viewership ratings. You're losing viewership ratings. It sounds like it's going to hurt them in the eye. NASCAR's not going to learn anything because they need to get rid of the yellow line rule, the stage laps. That includes the stage caution we're dealing with, and how about this? Go back to the old point system when the time comes. Because I like the chase still, but the 16 drivers, it's not going to be enough. How about go back to original top 10 drivers in the chase for the Cup? This is going to hurt NASCAR a lot. But anyways, same with this Sunday, guys, on the afternoon. This Sunday is the Illinois State Fairgrounds, the Calypso 100. It's also going to be this Sunday, too, because I got to be watching IndyCar and NASCAR. All 3 races on Sunday. That's also going to be on FS1. So stay tuned for that. So, anyways, speaking of IndyCar, yesterday, the inaugural of the Markham in Ontario, Canada, at the Ontario Honda Dealers, India. And it was like a street race, but the big race of the afternoon, man, the star of the pole. Oh my goodness, Lewis Foster took him in, and what happened is where there was a little caution, and he took a huge hard hit slam to the wall, like on turn 5 on contact outside the lane. It just took a hard hit, and that pretty much cost him a day. And then Grosjean went to pit. Romain Grosjean from Dale Coyen Racing took a pit lane. What happened is the king of road course, street course, Kyle Quitwood, also took he took a little bit of a hard hit, but lose some tire. He got his tire loss. That pretty much cost him the day. So that cost his day also. And back to teammates. Will Power and Marcus Erickson. You couldn't even see they almost took each other out of their own teammates, because here's the thing. They're trying to catch Alex Palou. Oh my gosh. What happens if they would have done this before with Power and Erickson? They could have expression words, and that would apologize too. Still, simple as that. But and then what comes down to it, Grosjean took a lead, and then Palou took almost had it, but he just lost the balance. Took a loss of his balance, and then Marcus Erickson made his comeback and got his lead, and then there it goes. He won. He just barely got the W, his 5th career win of IndyCar. That denied Grosjean's 1st career win, but Erickson won his 1st of the season. Not bad for him. It was a good race, but it was a street course race over there at almost near Toronto, but it was a Markham, so simple as that. But award finished in the top 5 as number 5, by the way. Yeah, Vicky, BK, Waluigi finished 7th. Stingray Rob finished 11. Milgard finished 13. Siegel finished 12. Marcus Armstrong finished 16. Malukas finished 17. Scott Dixon, yeah, it's kind of hard for him, but what else can you say? And anyways, standings. And we got a surprise before we go on to the next. Yeah. But Palou, he's still 133 behind Kyle Quitwood. He's most likely going to be 4 races left of the regular season, because the next one, first time ever onto the same streak, onto another street course at Washington, D.C., Freedom 250 this Sunday on Fox at 12:13, something like that. This Sunday. I'll be tuning in because I know President Trump's going to be in attendees, same as his family, JD Vance, everybody else is going to be there. We're all going to be there on Sunday. Yeah, because awards in the top 5 still, but Newgarden in 6th, McLaughlin 7th, Rosequist in 8th, by the way. Waluigi, BK 10th, but it's not over yet. I mean, Palou's got 6 wins of the season, but he could still win a championship if he wins another one, because you gotta go Milwaukee twice on the final weekend of August. But Rookie of the Year, Dennis Hunger, he's still behind Kyle Collette. It's not over yet, because Mick Schumacher, he's gonna need some work help coming up. So, anyways, sticking with IndyCar, well, there is some big news I've heard, because I was watching Speed with Harry Buxton, and the president just took a conversation of the IndyCar. Well, guys, there is a brand new, just like IMSA for the IndyCar. I know I got it somewhere, because I might end up going to Instagram, maybe, because I know it's kind of late because due to the World Cup. Actually, let's go to Instagram. Let me get to Speed. On the YouTube channel, because I know it's somewhere. Hold on. And Rose just put this out on the Matrix of Rose show. No, Black and White Sports. Red Bands. And sorry, John, I will get to that because I gotta check it out on the IndyCar video, because I mean the pictures, because I was talking about this. And trust me, I watch IndyCar. Okay, don't get me wrong. So, let's see. Let me see. Oops, speed. Because I know it's there on speed. Because I have it on Instagram. Before we move on to the NFL very soon. So stay tuned because I got to eat something first. Yeah. Hey, it is what it is. Okay, that's taking a long, long way. Turn a week. And by the way, back to NASCAR. Ty Gibbs just took an honor on Joe Gibbs. Well, honor Kyle Busch, as I say, as you can see right there. This is right there. Yes. TM, which is pretty cool. Man, I've been missing Kyle Busch. It's got to be somewhere before we move on to. There he is. The future is fast. Will Buxton talked about this last week. We got a new one that's going to come in 2028. NHRA is much faster, but go on. Lighter, faster, stronger, safer. Dallara IR-28, an all-new car designed to break track records and improve upon the incredible racing spectacle that IndyCar is renowned for displaying week in, week out. The fastest racing on earth is about to get even faster. Guys, they're going to have some lights, just like IMSA. Just like IMSA of the racing, because you're looking at it right there. This is the road course. This is the new one that's going to have on the back of the wings. Of the rear of the wings. Back of the wings. Of the tail. Looks pretty nice. And then at Speedway, it gets a little upper. Looks pretty cool. I like it. So, see what happens. That's going to be 2 years, 2028. When they get to that one, it's gonna be faster. I mean, it's gonna be faster than the speed of boat, the speed of sound, like Sonic the Hedgehog. So, yeah, guys, because we're 4 races left in the regular season. So see what goes, because we're getting closer to the end of the 2026. See what happens, and it's pretty awesome. Yeah, all right, it's pretty awesome. So, anyways, off racing, football, National Football League preseason underway. Yep, Packers. Well, Drew Aller had a great performance. That could give his second string quarterback to win that job over Will Howard. If Mason Rudolph could do what's better, because not Rudolph might end up going trade. Yeah, Packers took a blowout loss. The Texans also took a blowout loss by Chargers. And the Chiefs, they lost to the Rams. Yeah, so 3 of my teams are 0-1. So, which means Thursday night on ESPN, they're going to face the Raiders at 7 o'clock. And Friday at 8 o'clock, Packers are going to be at Denver, which is Texas is going to be facing Fernando Mendoza on Thursday night on ESPN. And then Saturday at 6:30, they're headed in the Big Sombrero, Tampa Bay, Super Bowl 55, Chiefs and Bucks. So that's where preseason goes on. But yep, there you have it, guys. An NFL and free agency news. Before we more NFL free agency news. Man, I got a lot to talk about this. I mean, social media is changing. I mean, I hate when it does this, but yeah, I guarantee it. So yeah, OBJ is back. Right there. Instead of number 13, he's now number 3. So Jamal Adams, he's out for the rest of the season. He has knee problems on placed in IR. Last night, the Cowboys signed Von Miller, former Texas A&M, former Super Bowl champ with the Broncos, Super Bowl 50. He played with the Bills and then Washington Commanders. Now playing with the Cowboys. They're expected to sign him. Yeah, they're going to sign him for a better extension contract coming up soon, because I know there's more free agency, because there's a bunch of NFL news. That's pretty much it, because I know there's more. I know there's more on that, because I gotta get to on, which I'll look at on my phone right now. I'll look at on my phone right now, because so, and by the way, Damian Woody got fired at ESPN. He got in their massive layoffs. Man, for 15 years. That's pretty depression. Because I know there's another extension contract of the players. So, oh yeah, Devin Witherspoon for the Seahawks. He got a 4-year deal contract, $102 million extension with over $101 million guarantee agreement, making him the highest paid cornerback in NFL history. There you go. And the Steelers also signed Canu Benton. They extended his contract, by the way. So, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Yep, because that's nothing going on. Because week 2 is this week. Should get to that. So off of football. NBA, the schedule is out. Regular season schedule is out. Because I know I got it somewhere on bookmarks. Because I know it's not even there. Because I don't know where the heck is the bookmark list. Let me check. Because I know the schedule has been released. Oh wait, let me go back to my profile. Bookmarks, highlights, blah blah blah. But NBA on social media, I mean. Yeah, because I seen the NBA tip-off. They were going to have their schedule coming up. Don't need videos. Sorry. Yeah, because I'm about to eat very soon. But yeah, the Spurs do have Oklahoma City Thunder on Tuesday night at 8:30 on NBC. I kind of saw this coming, but it's a rematch. But let me get to the NBA. But actually, I think I'll go to the NBA on the website if I want to, guys. NBA tip-off. Tip-off week. And then Christmas, by the way. So I'll get to the NBA on the website. How about that before I eat something? So, how about that? How about that? So there we go on the article. And yes, they're going to bring back Sunday Night Basketball on NBC for the second year in a row. Let me right there. Right there. It's only preseason, but man, make it to that. There we go. Celtics against the Pistons at 2 p.m. on NBC. Over there at Detroit, and then Sixers against the Knicks, the rematch from the semifinals last season in the playoffs because the Knicks swept the Sixers. And plus, LeBron's going to be playing against the NBA champs, by the way. That'll be at 6 o'clock. They'll be racing the bear at 5:30 for the Knicks at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. And at 8:30, the Thunder and the Spurs, as I said. They'll be at Prospect Center at 8:30 in my closest home city. All 3 games on NBC. And then Wednesday, October 21st, the Heat will be facing the Wolves and the Heat. Yeah, because of the trade. Yep. And it's 6:30. And then 9 o'clock, Warriors and the Lakers. Last year's opening night tip-off on NBC. Now on ESPN. Because the Warriors beat the Lakers. And then Thursday, on the 22nd, Wednesday 21st, Thursday 22nd, Cavs and the Sixers. LeBron's going to be facing against his former team. Hopefully not for the last. It's 6 p.m. and 8:30, the Nuggets and the Thunder. Northwest Division Showdown at OKC. And then Friday, October 23rd, the World Series, the same night. Knicks and Celtics at TD Garden. And then 8:30, because my mom has on Prime Video subscription, Rockets and Spurs at the Moody Center at Austin, Texas. Kevin Durant's going to be playing there in Austin, Texas. Since the Suns. Now we're the Rockets. Since 2024-25. KD with the Suns. Now here we are in 26-27 with the Rockets against the Spurs. It'll be in Austin, home of the Texas Longhorns. And then they're going to have a Tuesday coast-to-coast game, Pistons and Knicks, Blazers and Lakers. Because check your local list of the games and time of your area. That's what all means by that. And then they're going to have Sunday Night Basketball on NBC. The return of Sunday Night Basketball. Yep. Sunday Night Basketball. Sunday, January 31st, the Rockets and the Mavericks at 7:30. And they're going to have a double headers. February through April. Yep. Because, guys, on my birthday, early birthday, March 7th, Knicks and Spurs. Guys, they're going to be facing them on Christmas Day. They're going to be facing on Christmas Day. And speaking of Christmas Day, going to ESPN. Christmas Day games. Spurs, Knicks, Heat. It's going to be 11. Heat, Celtics at 1:30, 4 p.m. Sixers and Lakers. LeBron's homecoming against the Lakers. And guys, the Lakers got their big purchase. Their big purchase. Jared Kushner. And Bob Iger. They already sold it for Mark Walter. Yep. They sold it to the team. And right there, the franchise has now been sold twice in less than 18 months. Here's right there for Ramona Shelburne. Which is kind of weird. Like, yeah. So which means son-in-law of the president got the team. He's now going to be in charge because Luka Doncic. I would love to see Trump going to that game. I would like to see him going to the Knicks game against the Sixers and boo LeBron. That'll be hilarious. Yeah. And then the Thunder and the Wolves at 7 o'clock. And then 9:30, Nuggets and Warriors. So there you have it, guys. There you have it, guys. I mean, that's basketball. There you go. And that's pretty much it. NBA. No NHL news. They're kind of quiet right now. No hockey news. But baseball. MLB. CBS Sports app right there, because I always check on the app, because that pretty much helps me go into look at the standings. But sorry I had time to do one last night because there's a lot of winning streaks, losing streaks. Wait till next week. But start off with the Houston Astros. Last night, and they won 2 out of 3 against San Francisco Giants, and they lost 2 out of 3 against the Mariners, Seattle Mariners last night. Tomorrow, all the way through this week, the Angels and the A's over there in Houston, because we just started off 3 games of the series against the American League West, even though Houston's still hanging on for that. But hey, they'll be all right, possibly, because now it's 63-62. And the Cubs, they're still in the first on the wild card. They lost 2 out of 3 against St. Louis, the Cardinals, St. Louis, after they won 2 out of 3 against Washington Nationals at Washington, D.C. So tonight through Wednesday, because tomorrow on TBS, the South Side team that hates us, we're facing the team that we hate. Brothers against sisters, family against family, the North against the South against the North, the Chicago White Sox. Yep. We got the rivalry this weekend, and then they're going to be at Seattle this weekend, I should say, at Seattle. So, and that's it. But standings time, let's get to that. The Rays are 5.5 games behind the Yankees in the American League East. In the Central, 5.5 games on Chicago White Sox over Detroit Tigers. And then the West, the Astros, they're only 2 games behind the Texas Rangers, because the Rangers lost the A's. So that's a good thing, by the way. Still, Houston's got to hang on. And the East, the Braves, they're up 7.5 over the Philadelphia Phillies in the National League. And then the Central, Cubs only down 5 games back on the Brewers. And the West, the Dodgers lead 7 behind the Padres. And now closely into the Arizona Diamondbacks. But the wild card, even though the Houston's in third for the division leaders, even though the Rays are in first place over the White Sox, that for the home field advantage. But the Yankees lead wild card on the home field advantage. That could end up facing the Red Sox, but the Orioles move up a little bit because the Rangers lost. So, yeah, that pretty much a little bit helps for that. So, on the final spot, and the Rangers are outside with the Blue Jays and the Tigers, along with Twins and the Guardians. And then the Brewers, they're at first place still, but the Braves are catching them. I hope so. The Braves are catching them. The Cup in the home field advantage division leaders, and then the wild card, the Cubs are still up by 5 games behind the Phillies. And Padres moved out a little bit, but the Diamondbacks, they're not backing out. See how that's going to come down to the last few months. Well, almost to September, by the way. So the teams have won like 3 games in a row. Let's get to the 3 games. That is the Baltimore Orioles, the Chicago White Sox, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the New York Mets. All 4 of them have won 3 games in a row. They won 3 games. 1 in the American League East and the Central, and 2 for the National League East. But the 2 teams have lost 3 games in a row in the same division: the Detroit Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. Yep, 4 teams won 3, 2 teams lost 3. Kind of like a bringing math, mathematically, but still doing all the math and all that stuff. But yep, there you have it. MLB. And now the Korean baseball. KBO. Yep, Samsung. They're in second place, so they're 1 game back on KT. They just won the series, but that game got postponed against Hanwha. And they lost the series to the Kia Tigers. Yikes. Got to be more careful. They're facing the WSG and this week, and then the NC Dinos. So the best overall is KT, and the worst is going to be Kaiwoom. So, yep, that's there on baseball news. But let's get to Japan baseball. For my team, the Hanshin Tigers, they're finally back in first place. I told you they're going to have this one, but they won 3-game sweep. Yes. Oh, my goodness. They won 3 games in a row. And that first place in the battle of the Central Division goes to the Hanshin Tigers. They just beat the Yomiuri Giants to Tokyo. A 3-game sweep. But they lost the series to the Hiroshima. Yeah, they did. Hey, don't matter. They got their first place back in the Central, but their next games this week in the series, Yakult and Dina in the weekend. Yep, because the Giants are now back in second. So good thing is the Hanshin Tigers have a chance. Thank goodness they're back. Told you. It's a great thing because of the loss. Who's going to get first place? Hanshin Tigers is back. Now, the Pacific League. SoftBank, they're still in first place, but Nippon Ham's back to third. Not good, but they won a series against Orex, and they lost the series to Saibu. And they're going to face them this week because they're in first place. I don't think they're going to have a chance to catch them unless they're in the playoffs very soon. And then they're going to face Latte. So they're in third place. At least Orex doesn't catch us for Nippon Ham. So the best overall right now is SoftBank, and the worst overall is Rakuten in the Pacific. Yeah. Which is like unchaotic century, but there you have it, guys. Baseball news. And we had to stick with baseball. We lost 2 of the gigantic legends, but I do know who baseball legends are. Skip Bartman, the LSU. He passed away last week at the age, I forgot. I think he was 88 years old. Yeah, he was 88 years old. He was a 5-time World Series champion with LSU, and he was the athletic director in LSU. If you guys do not notice, man, it's Skip Bartman. And if you guys don't remember 30 years ago, 1996 of the Warren Morris home run against Miami and Alex Cora, yep, LSU won over there in Omaha. 5-time College World Series champ, 7-time SEC champ, number 15 retired, bronze medal 96 in the U.S. Olympic team, player for Miami Hurricanes, 14-time coach of the year, and a Hall of Famer. It's sad. I mean, Skip Bartman is a good college baseball coach. For those of you who don't recognize him, He's a legend. He was a legend. And On3 just posted this out, and man. And also, for those of you who don't know, because some of them have Tommy John surgeries all these years, when your season ends, your career ends, well, his life ended. He passed away yesterday for 26 seasons he has done. I mean, he was 83 years old. That's sad. I'm going to read this from Yahoo Sports. John pitched in the majors for 26 seasons in the namesake of Tommy John surgery, which has become a common collective elbow procedure that has helped continue the careers of countless pitchers and athletes across all sports. And MLB put this out. John broke in with Cleveland as a 20-year-old in 1963. That made his last appearance with the Yankees 1989 at the age of 46, also pitching for the White Sox, Dodgers, Angels, and the A's Athletics. The left-hander won 288 games, made 4 All-Star teams, and anchored 3 pennant teams, twice finishing as the runner-up for the Cy Young Award winner. Cy Young Award. His 700 games started in the rank 8th on the all-time list. After John injured his elbow in 1974, he received the first ulnar collectible ligament replacement surgery from a Dr. Frank Jobe. John returned to the pitch in 1976, 50 years ago, then won 20 games 3 times in 4 years from 77 through 80. That was when the Yankees won the World Series in the 70s, Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. He will go on 14 of his 26 seasons after a procedure that is known as the Tommy John surgery, a measure that has helped extend pitching career in the more than half of the century since it was his first performed. 83 years old. Yeah, this is sad. This is really, really sad. Well, Tommy John surgery. I mean, I do recognize who Tommy John surgery is because it's hard to tell what injury goes on, but yeah. So, rest in peace to him, by the way. Rest in peace. So, get off of baseball. College football. Top 25 is out. I saw earlier today. College football. Texas Longhorns are number 5 in college football for an AP preseason poll. I just seen that one and it shocked me, but I thought we were going to be number 2. Nah. Oregon's number 2, by the way. Georgia's number 3. Notre Dame's number 4. But we'll get to the details in just a moment. But I want to read this. And guys, if you guys don't know who that is, because he played for Texas Longhorns, Cole Hutson. I think he wants to come back, guys. I don't think it's a good idea, but I'm gonna read this with you guys. Here it is, because we're about to read this, and you could tell that what's there. So I'm not gonna play the clip. Sorry, Rhodes. I apologize. I'm only gonna read the article for you. The consistent chaos in college football has created all sorts of questions. The most pressing current donut hole relates to a 5-year rule. The question of whatever players who graduate high school in 2022, 4 years ago, will get one more season of eligibility. I don't think it's a good idea. There's no clarity as to how a recent injunction issued by the court in Colorado will apply. Judge Charlotte Sweeney intently opened the floodgates before explaining that ruling doesn't allow the transfer portal open for players who have another season to go, whatever they want. Still, other cases that have been filled or that are in the works could result in a different outcome. If this is true, because what's going to happen to CFL players, NFL and UFL players don't make the cuts, and they chose not to go back to training camp? This is going to be a problem to play one more season, and now I don't think it's a good idea for the NCAA. Through all, the NCAA is in a holding firm for some of the member schools. However, there are the cracks in the wall, or maybe they're just being optimistic. This is the issue. This is the issue. This is the biggest issues in college football. If I could, oops, sorry about that. Right there. Right there. Regardless, some programs have been reaching out to the agents with a specific pitch first-year players who get cut and who are looking at the year on the practice squad. At best, should consider returning to college for another season. Well, right now, the State College Protect College Sports Act is in the pause. As long as the Congress is already recessed, they're going to have to try to come back and do something and stop it. Because they have to play 5th-year eligibility. They can't play extended, like 7 years like Trinidad Chambliss with Ole Miss. If this is for college football fans, it already has because of the NIL crap. The possibility raises many questions for everyone. Will a school have a roster spots? Will a player have to surrender any money he made, signing bonuses per diem, etc., before returning to school? And I'll need to read the rest of that, but here's my issue. If this is true, you're going to lose some fans. You're going to lose some fans. Oh, my goodness. This is going to hurt college football. But get my point. But speaking of football, yeah, Texas is number 5, and 2 that played the national championship last season. India 6 and Miami's in 7. Because Ole Miss is at 9 for that Final Four last season. Because Oregon's number 2 after that Peach Bowl performance that did not age very wealthy. So which means Texas, Ohio State could be possibly happen. Number 5 versus number 1. Because SMU is number 19. Houston's 23. Texas 12. Texas Tech's 12. Aggies in 8th. And some other schools are in the top 25. So there you have it, guys. That's NCAA football. No college basketball. UConn non-conference games are out, but except the rest of the schedule will have to wait. They're still in the works. Texas and UConn women's basketball. They're in the works right now. Yeah. We'll have to see. That will take us no minute delay, minute by minute. Yeah, that will have to wait. So cannot wait. Next week's college football. I mean, I'll be missing that because we're going to be going to San Antonio, possibly because in the hundreds in my area, and especially over there in San Antonio, it's going to get worse. Highway to Hell by AC/DC. Highway to Hell. Yeah. So. Yeah, because we're going to be going to the movie theater, Live Oak. So I'll tell you that next week, but going into the Women's National Basketball Association, the WNBA. Time for this past week's standings, but let's get to my teams because Dallas won last week. They're now 20-15. Yeah, they won They won a game on Wednesday against Toronto Temple. AZ Fudd play like Paige Beckers, excuse me. Paige Beckers play like crap in the first half, but in the second half, no problem. 22 points, 7-18 from the field. She went 7-7 free throw line without Shepard and Fudd. Yeah, speaking, they're not in the game because she had played 34 minutes. But Alana Smith had bounce, and she had a double-double with 13 points. So Enrique had 21 points. But their stats on the team, yeah, perfect free throws. Not bad with the free throws. 88 and a half. No problem. And 24 assists. Because they took points in the paint and then look at the fast break points. So they had their largest lead and they got it done. But speaking of former UConn, Kia Nurse has 16 points, by the way. She went 16-11. And then Maria Mabry had 23 points, 7-15. And then Kiki Rice, former UCLA, 13 points. And Isabel Harrison had 10 rebounds and 5 assists. And a loss on Friday night. Yep, Sophie Cunningham rallies. Well, Johnny Root from Outkick went to that game, but I'll give him credit to that where credit is due. But the biggest game highlight on Friday night is got to be the ones that play for the Final Four, which the game got costly robbed us 2 years ago in Cleveland. I'm talking about UConn over Iowa, but they could have won that. But Iowa, UConn screwed themselves in the foot. The referee screwed us in the game and gave Iowa the win. Yeah, still hurts me. I mean, it's not going to go away and get this one over with unless they face each other in the finals, which is Wings and the Fever. Possibly not going to happen, but we'll see. And possibly UConn, Iowa in the tournament again. But we're not in March. I can see that, but we're on to football first. So anyways, Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark had 29 points. CC22 had double-double. She shot 11-18 from the field. Paige shot 11 out of 21. I mean, Paige played 3 more minutes than CC22 had. Okay? I mean, both of them had a great game, but Dallas cannot get the job done. They just vanished themselves. Yeah, because they lost 4 out of 5 after last week's disappointment that we had. And Enrique had 20 points. 11 points by Osney Sims. The only thing I want to see is back on Shepard and Fudd in the game before it's too late. Because Fudd's already going to be vanished herself in the Rookie of the Year. Because that's going to go to Olivia Miles. So she's going to run away unanimously, easily. But Mitchell, Ohio State, played 36 minutes, 23 points. Actually, 10 assists, excuse me, not 10 rebounds, 10 assists. That's a double-double on 29 points and 10 assists. Yeah, my bad. And then Ty Harris have 15 points. And then Sophie Cunningham only have 5 points. So, yeah, Aaliyah Boston, former South Carolina, has 16 points, by the way. But their numbers look okay, but look at the numbers on free throws. Dallas has more than Indiana has. Not enough. This week, tonight, they're going to face the Valkyries at 9 p.m. And they're going to face them again on Thursday in Dallas. Indiana Fever. Johnny Root's going to be at Dallas, by the way. Can you imagine Rose goes to that game? That'll be good. That'll be cool, but nah. Yeah, he likes to stay home. It's too much money. Yeah, they face him again on Thursday at 7 on Prime Video. So Dallas can bounce him back. And then Sunday, Seattle. And Sue Bird's team, by the way. So 3 games this week. Because we got 2, 4, 6, 9 games left in the regular season. We're getting closer because it's going to be the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup, by the way. So we're going to be off with that. So I don't have to worry about covering it on Women's World Cup. World Cup. That's one I care about. So So 9 more games left. Now the Chicago Sky. Yep. It's going to be too little too late, but as long as they don't knock out on my Dallas Wings out, but you never know. You never know. Anyways, going into Monday, yeah, because they lost another games because they were on a 3-game losing streak after Saturday of DJ Carrington's behavior. Crap because she posted white privilege on Threads, which Threads disabled me last year. You already know what I'm going to say, the whole story. Yeah, Chicago, not so much. And the one that disgusts me is DJ Carrington got applauded cheer by the Seattle Storm fans. Shame on them. Shame on them. They should be ashamed of themselves. For the ones that spit on Sophie Cunningham fans in the face a couple games ago when the Storm lost to the Fever. And I'm going to say this again. I am going to go with Sophie Cunningham's opinion. No male should be competing in female sports because XXXY athletics. We'll get to the details because I heard there was a discrimination yesterday at Atlanta. But Cardoso had 15 points. DJ had 26. Yeah, screw her, by the way. DJ has completely lost my respect. But Cardoso had double-double, by the way. 13 rebounds and 15 points, 26 minutes. But Juarez only played 4 minutes. Gabriela Juarez, J.G. Sheldon only had 5 points. And Ben Blue had 13 points. And Seattle Storm. But yeah, they're the worst team right now. But yeah, Natasha Heineman, I think she got a bumper, but DJ Carrington took a kiss. Like, my eyes just roll so hard, just like Undertaker's. But the Wednesday loss, they lost to Golden State. So Cardoso had 20 points. So, yeah. And then for UConn, Gabby Williams had 13 points. And Kayla Chen had 6 points also for UConn. But yeah, Gabby Williams, the one that says, I will welcome all transgender competing against female sports. She's already getting ratioed. Okay? Kathy Engelbert, Adam Silver. Are you seeing this? Do you want male to compete in female sports? Is this what you want? Because we're looking at you. You're going to go back to losing fans. You're going back to losing fans. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. I'm not bullshitting. I'm dead serious. Dead ass serious. But Tiffany Hayes had 22 points, by the way. Sorry, my voice almost lost it because I talked too much, but still drinking water. And now they finally snap a 3-game losing streak. Yesterday, that could have been 4 in a row, but Chicago barely escaped, and Cardoso had double-double, 22 points, 12 rebounds, 30 minutes, 7 and 15 from the field. She's shooting 8-11 for the free throw line. And Cloud only had perfect 9-9 free throw. I don't care about Natasha Cloud or DJ as of right now, and I just want both of them off so badly after this season. So badly. But yeah, that's it. Chicago Sky has a games this week. And I'm going to check how many games do they have left. Yep, same thing. 9 games left to go with Dallas Wings. They have 3. Dallas has 3. Tomorrow they're going to face the Liberty. And Friday they're going to face the Valkyries again since Wednesday. And Sunday, yeah, when DJ posted this, August 23rd, here we are. And that game's going to be at 6 p.m. on NBC Sunday night, women's Saturday night. Well, let me say this. Women's Sunday night basketball. This is like their second time since the Fever has Sunday night. It was against Las Vegas Aces. That's right. Yeah, that is so true. But yep, Sunday night. That loss might come to him. If not, Chicago might give us a chance for a win. So we'll have to see. We'll see. But I don't think that's going to happen to come back because Mercury is not going anywhere. But 2 teams are eliminated, and Seattle's the first one's out. Connecticut's the only team that's next has been eliminated. So the Aces clinched their playoff. Yuck. But 5 games in a row belongs to the Valkyries, Golden State, and they lost 10 in a row. Sandy Brondello, who call Angel Reese a protected species, the Toronto Temple, they lost 10 games in a row. This is what happens when Sandy Brondello call someone like Angel Reese protected species. Yeah, karma is a better, almost said it out loud. So, and the WNBA, I want to stick with that because first up, the Rhodes Rants put this out on Black and White Sports too because he put the video out so hardly because I understand Stacey Abrams from the Georgia, she went to the game. Well, 2 more Georgian females went to that game. That is supporting Sophie Cunningham. By the way, the Dream lost to Indiana Fever. I saw that one coming. Angel Reese missed multiple chances to win that game, and that didn't happen. But first up, WNBA subreddit has banned Sophie Cunningham's name. But Johnny Root put this out. Rhodes put the video out. But John Root, the local Georgia mom and daughter, were discriminated against yesterday's game for wearing XXXY athletics shirt. During overtime, as security told them they had to put their Atlanta Dream shirts over shirts or they will be escorted out. This is unacceptable. Let's listen in because this is ridiculous. Because WNBA is a midlife crisis. Midtown crisis. Because this kind of reminds me of 2020. Yeah, staying home with coronavirus. I get it. Put the mask on. Now this. They wore that shirt. That's their free speech. They can wear whatever they want. This has got to stop, guys. I'm already tired every single week of the drama. Again, this is not about basketball. It never was. It never has been. It has now been the view of ABC and soap opera or BET shows that is super woke. All right? I never watched those shows. It's near the MTV or VH1s. I only watched the ones that as good movies. That's it. Here we go. And this is a shirt that says Wellness Night. But Sophie Cunningham fans are not interested. And I feel sorry for these two, and they should. I should. The ones in Atlanta is super woke, super far left woke in the city of Atlanta. Remember, Kelly Loeffler is the one that is in charge of Atlanta Dream. She does not want to get involved with politics. And they just cut me out. And I hate when it does that. They think we're stupid. They think they're stupid. They think we're all stupid enough for themselves. Kelly Loeffler, she's the one in charge in the Atlanta Dream back in the day in her basketball standpoint. But she does not want politics in sports. Look what happened. They throw her ass out of the league so bad. And let's look, I want to read this there. 2010, Loeffler bought the minority stake of the Atlanta Dream of the Women's National Basketball Association. In 2011, when I was in high school, she and Mary Brock bought the team from Kathy Betty. Loeffler took an active role of the team, arranging her travel schedule to attend all games and often meeting with head coach Michael Cooper. Oh, yeah, Michael Cooper played for the Lakers. That's right. Anyways, I'm going to eat something. But yeah, Magic Johnson was a 5-time NBA champion. But let me continue with what I'm doing right now. Yes, if I read this one, yeah, Michael Cooper did win 5 times with Magic, and also with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. During halftime to analyze the first half of the game, due to part of her stance of the BLM, Black Lives Matter movement, and the resulting criticism expressed by many players on the Dream roster within the league. And then 5 years ago in February, Loeffler sold her team and stake in the team. Yeah, because she left. And the reason, she went to the Senate and she lost to, who did she lost to in 2021? I just want to point this out. Because look at this. In July 2020, Loeffler, who was co-owner of the Atlanta Dream, wrote the WNBA a public letter objecting to the players wearing the shirt with BLM and say her name printed on them and suggesting they wear American flags instead. I don't need to read all of this, but I don't want to. And I believe she lost against Warnock, Raphael Warnock. And right before January 6th, which I don't need to get to that crap. I don't need to. But this problem, like the WNBA is dealing right now, let me get to it. Let me unmute this. This is an issue. The league is an issue. This is an issue because you're dealing with the worst of the worst. That's exactly what's happening. And this right there, trans kids belong. Right there. Johnny Root on Outkick. Why was this woman not? Yeah. They're getting ratioed. Hayden, Atlanta Dream, and XXXY is also an Atlanta brand. Do you make people make people cover up Nike brand shirts? You are truly clowns. They're getting crushed on this. So bad. So bad. And by the way, going back to Atlanta Dream, you know who's in charge? Renee Montgomery. She's the ownership. She's in charge. She's in charge of that team. And this is a major problem. This league does not want to recover. The league does not want to heal. It's not going to grow. And by the way, one person just flipped off so badly. The Fever fan flipped him off. And we're going to play this from Adam Francisco. This is badly look in the W. And this right there is a national embarrassment. Check this out. And by the way, I don't need to get into the national anthem for the Atlanta Dream because I don't want to say so much because that they did not show up. Just like LSU at Iowa 2 years ago over there at Buffalo. Or Albany, excuse me. I don't need to get into this one. And I don't want to hear none of that, okay? Check this out.
To cover up our XXXY shirt this day.
You see this fan? Yeah, this fan right there with the female, she flipped up those twos off.
Our XXX Sorry, bro. Third row of fourth.
For your seats.
Did nothing. Like we were just sitting there. I didn't find someone to make some. I didn't.
I did notice the game on the Jumbotron. They put up a woman wearing a shirt that said "Protect Trans Rights" or something.
She was the one that took off because it was made to zip up.
So she also had a puffer jacket.
But I think that's
That's bullshit too. She shouldn't have to.
But they put her shirt on the Jumbotron.
I know.
It's almost like the message was made and they said now zip it up to make it seem like they're consistent, but they never were.
Yeah. No.
And why do you so much
Women for Wisconsin.
relation here? And are you an athlete?
I used to be entitled to knee surgery.
What sport?
I did also try to soccer. I did yes.
And did this issue
I used to be entitled to knee surgery.
what sport?
I did also try soccer. I did.
Did this issue ever come up? Like, did a biological man ever try to play against?
No, we're from here, so it hasn't happened here
A lot.
But I can't believe that just happened
Yeah, that's
in
shocking.
Atlanta, Georgia.
You know, this isn't necessarily for those people that are in this room. This is more for an online community that's trying to create narratives that simply exist, trying to create a fabrication or distortion of who I am, of what I'm about. Our players' success, our players' health and wellness, our players' safety is always a top priority for me. One of the things I pride myself on is my relationships with players. For those who have anything to say about the play in the last game, I didn't see the play in real time. I went straight to a press conference. I thought the play got called right. Thankfully, Sophie's okay. Was it egregious? Absolutely. When you have a chance to watch that over and over on replay, you can see that. I can have that in real time. I take personally any suggestions that I don't 100% always have my play down all the time. All the time. They know that. It's a shame that we can't have an opportunity to talk about what group basketball they're playing. Because they are fucking playing. The reality is, with me, I will always lead with love. I will always lead with grace. I will always lead with humility. And I will always lead with integrity. Doesn't mean I'll always get it right. I'm also human. The hate, fear-mongering, divisiveness, the stuff that's trying to hijack our league will not win. It won't win. We are united. We are connected. We will not be divided. Every day these women put their ass on the line. Every day. When they go low, we go high. Love will win. Grace will win. Humility will win. And kindness will win. I stand by them. I will always stand by them. Everybody else can go to hell.
Thank you for asking it. It really pisses me off. This is a great league. We've got great players, great stories, great rookies, great teams. Vegas has done the last 4 years, and we just spend so much time talking about small stuff. And I don't know why that happens in our league. Disappointing. I don't know who can help change it. It's the coaches, the players, the media, there's outside sources that are trying to create a vision. And sometimes it's not a lot of fun. It's not a lot of fun for a lot of organizations. We are doing great things. We should be doing this, and it feels like there's things that certain coaches on the to deal with at a nice level. That's bullshit. And I feel sorry for some of those coaches. I love our media. We make it about basketball, but some of the things that Steph has to go through, like, there's no other coach in any professional sport that has to go through what she does. And I think of her a lot. It's like it's not fair. She's hired to coach basketball. She's got a great team, and they're just dealing with stuff that doesn't really matter. And so that's stuff that.
The victim card will go on. Stop playing the victim. And when's the last time the people won a championship? Because their dream has never won a championship yet. Only 3 conference. Yeah, 0. Hopefully San Antonio comes back to life. I really do. It was Stephanie White and her team, 2000. Stephanie White told everyone to go to hell. But back to this. Was it respectful for White to tell folks to go to hell? Good question about that. Too late. Stephanie White can go to hell. It will only get worse. No love lost. They're not defending CC22 Sophie Cunningham. Again, I'm not a fan of either one of them. They're getting cooked in the comment section. It says, you moron players don't get to dictate if I at the game, especially after Stephanie Meffany White told the fans to go to hell. I'm about done with this team, and I'm actually a fan. She deserves any boo she gets. Yeah, and by the way, she did get the boos. Look at this. Says the most garbage first overall picks in the WNBA history. Aaliyah Boston is a clown. Damn, got to be more careful. Got to be more careful. Yep, 2012. I was right. I was right. 2012. And Tamika Catchings won the MVP. Yeah, it was Lynn Dunn, not Stephanie White. It was Lynn Dunn. Stephanie White did coach at the Eastern Conference team, the Connecticut Suns. No, it was Mike Thalbo. Yeah, that's true. I almost forgot about that. San Antonio finished third. Made the playoffs, but I think they lost to. Who did they lost to? WNBA playoffs. That's right, the Sparks, because they swept us. That's right. I almost forgot about that. True, you know. But what you see what happens? See what happens? You'll get to tell people to go to hell. If I was a fan, should I tell the coach and to go to hell? Or I should say the players to go to hell? No, because I'm autistic. I'm autistic. I get to cheer. All right? I get to cheer whatever coaches or players I get to, but the fans, they got crushed by Stephanie White. She's already going to lose her job after the season because they're going to address this. It's going to get worse. So the worst can get on with that. She got destroyed because of that. So I really miss the San Antonio Stars. I really, really do. Because if the time comes back, we'll see if Atlanta doesn't win a championship. Because that playoff is going to come very soon. So there you have it, guys. My God. Lots of drama. The XXXY Athletics on Sophie Cunningham. And that Sophie Cunningham name has been banned on Reddit. Wow. And Stephanie White, Nate Tibbetts got ratioed. It's going to get worse before the WNBA break of FIBA. That's going to come soon. So that's it, guys. We're done. Playlist updates. Spotify. None. Zero. Zilch. None this past week. Well, yeah, for last week. But you can follow me. All my playlists on Spotify. Go check it out. And follow me on Spotify. So that's it, guys. And Toonami On-Demand yesterday. Yes, last one. My Adventures with Superman. Yep, Clark Kent's trying to get his powers back, and which it has for sure to save his family, Kara, John, and Laura. Kal-El is about to go through the battle against the worst of times from the future. And Lex Luthor's the one that caused that mess. Yeah. The Baldy, aka Joey Logano. So yeah, guys, that is over with. So that's it, guys. And that ends season 3. And at the end, there was Crypto the Superdog. Yeah, and then Clark Kent and Lois Lane, they got engaged at the end of the episode, season 3. And One Piece Whole Cake Island yesterday, by the way. Combroche, something like that, desserts. And one of Luffy's friends came to the rescue, arriving and gave Big Mama some dessert. Yeah, it just swallowed in. And then Luffy just got some fruits from the monster on the water ocean, which is kind of hilarious. I mean, the search of Sanji goes on. I mean, it's going to take a while, but we'll have to see. As long as they get to the Whole Cake Island, because they passed Chocolate Island and the Cheese Island, the Nut Island. I mean, it's going to go on and sweetness. So there you go. And we're off until 2-3 weeks. 2-3 weeks. It'll be back on the second week of September. Possibly it will be 1 hour, one piece, because there's a new show called Scavenger Rain. I never heard of that show in my life. I do know Common Side Effects. I did watch all 10 episodes of season 1. It was really good. But this is the same director and creator that the show that's from there, and it's now going to be on September 5th. And you know how many episodes? 12. It'll be 3 episodes, all the way through 4 weeks, September 5th through the 26th, because of One Piece is 1 episode. I'm already thinking I'm going to skip Scavenger Rain. I'm already going to skip that. Well, I'm going to skip that for sure, because I don't need to watch 3 episodes for 2 hours. No, I already have 1 hour, 1 rerun of One Piece, and a new episode coming up on September 7th, 8th, or 9th. And I'll let you guys know when for the next one, because we're off for the next couple of weeks, relaxed, because it's getting close to September. So that's pretty much it. And yeah, so that's gonna be it. So that's it. And weather outside this past this week, and again, it's gonna be in the hundreds. Oh yeah, we're gonna be in the hundreds all week. So that's not looking good. That's not looking good. But it's Mother Nature, because it's highway to hell. It's the worst heat of hell that I'm dealing with at the worst of heats. I mean, it's Mother Nature, but and by the way, if you're not feeling too wealthy from the heat water, drink some water. That's gonna help you hydrate. If you want something to dehydrate, get Gatorade 75% less sugar, especially Powerade, 0 sugar, along with Gatorade, and Powerade water, and some vitamin water, because that's going to help our hydration to get on with that. Besides sugar of Gatorade, Powerades, all that stuff, yeah. So that's how it works. And yeah, and that's pretty much all I gotta say. But and going back to the NBA schedule before we close it out, the rest of the teams, as I said, the Spurs schedule is out, and the Chicago Bulls. So I could print it out again, and yep. So I could print one out again, and it will be good. So I can open up the tab, but it's gonna take a while, but yeah. Yeah, it's taking a long time, because I don't know how long. Yeah, internet's out. Yikes. Yikes. And it just went out. There we go. Spurs schedule's out. I'm gonna try to open up the tab right there. There we go. And there it is, 2026-27. I told you the schedule. All-Star break, and then the NBA in-season tournament, and then the I-35 series. They're going to face the Rockets on a Friday, only for that. And then the global games, they're going to face the Pelicans over there in France on January 14 through the 17 against, at Great Britain. And then the Bulls schedule. But the rest of the schedule are there. So So I'll be printing out some schedule not too soon, as soon as we're done. But that's gonna do it. And yeah. And before we go, guys, last night, I forgot to talk about that because the biggest story of the night, Hayden Panettiere passed away at the age of 36. The cause of death was admittedly unknown. And she played, which I know the character, Dot from Bug's Life, and Cheryl Yost from Remember the Titans, of high school football drama. So it says, it is profound sadness that we are shared a tragic passing of our beloved Hayden. She was a credible light and a force of nature who brought immature love and joy to all knew her. To the millions who watch her on screen, yeah. And she was part of Scream series. Kirby Reed, Juliette Barnes from Nashville, Heroes, Claire Bennett. Oh yeah, and she plays Kate and Alpha and Omega. I did not know that. And then the characters from Kingdom Hearts of the anime. And this is Jordan Schultz posted this. I cannot believe Hayden Panettiere has passed away to last night. Rest in peace. You're such a magnetic talent. I'll never forget the role, the amazing role you play in the. Yep, this is my favorite football movie. Denzel Washington and the other cast. That's part of Disney movies. Right there. Yeah, this is the week's strong side. Yeah, they're talking about that play film books, game film books, the film books on the film lights on game plans for the next game. So sad. I mean, I don't know what her death caused, but they're gonna figure it out. And she, oh yeah, it's been confirmed. Cardiac arrest following a suspect overdose at an apartment in South Carolina. Wow. I'm not gonna play the clip because it's there because I don't want to get copyrighted. And I believe, oh yeah, she was also on Bring It On back in 2006. So yeah. And by the way, Matrix the Roadshow and Black and White Network coming up later on soon. So stay tuned. You'll get to see the next one, but we're about to get on out of here. Hayden Panettiere, she's 36. I mean, way too young. She had the worst cardiac arrest in her apartment at South Carolina. My goodness. Sad. Very sad. But yes, I remember watching Bug's Life when we watched it on the VHS. And yes, they do have it on Freeform right now and Disney channels. Yeah, those movies are good. And Remember the Titans is also the best movie, in my opinion. I watched that movie. So, sad. Very sad. Rest in peace to Hayden Panettiere. Panettiere. We're going to leave it off right there. So, that's going to do it, guys. AFG's Anime Sports Weekly Review. We'll be back next week. And oh yeah, I was going to say this. If you guys have not watched Ghost in the Shell, the Ghost in the Shell, you can watch it on Prime Video. Yeah, you can watch that. It's the creators of Dawn to Dawn. It is the creators of Dawn to Dawn. The same company. And I'm sure you're going to love that because it's really, really good. It's really funny. And then they have a bunch of cameos. Oh, yeah, the Puma twins are out. And there's going to be new episodes tomorrow, every Tuesdays on Amazon Prime Video. I almost forgot about that because I keep putting Anime Sports Review. Like, yeah, you could watch that, but it's super funny. I hope they could put this on Toonami, but I don't think they will. Neither to Crunchyroll. Right there. Susie Young plays Motoko. That's really cool. And this is really funny. I like this one. It's super funny. Let me check Puma Twins before we get out of here, guys. I can't find it, but I have it somewhere. But oh crap. Okay. Yep, this is the Puma Twins. Ana Uni. Yep. And we're going to leave it off right there, guys, because we're about to get out of here, and we'll be back next Monday, because next Monday I might end up watching Roger Waters in concert, The Wall, Berlin, 1990, the DirecTV version all over again. So, yeah, we're about to get to that next week. So we're going to get out of here, guys. For the guy who has over 134 subscribers who lives in Eagle Pass, Texas, I'm signing out. Take care, guys. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Peace. I'm out. Until the next time.